Mr. Transformers 96 here with the video, and we talk about some new items shown at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, and this time we have the Marvel Legends comic figures from the new X-Men wave coming up. So they did show several new figures and portions of some waves. This is one portion of a wave. It's the next just standard X-Men wave, and they showed 3 figures from it. At the moment, we don't know the Build-A-Figure for the wave or the rest of the assortment, but for right now we have the 3 figures being X-Men, Weapon X, and Morph. These are interesting character choices. In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of any of these characters just personally, whether I don't know too much about them or the rendition of them. They're not the characters that I'm more sought after when it comes to the X-Men series. Let's talk about them. We have on the left here X-Man. He looks like a nice figure. I do like the jacket design. He looks very cartoonish, especially how broad his shoulders are, and when it, like it really slims down towards the waist. He's got a cartoonish look, which, I believe that he's from kind of the 90s era, so therefore that looks about right, considering that's the time that the X-Men had their biggest cartoon online or on the air. The head sculpt looks quite nice. I do like the kind of blast effect coming out of the left eye. I think it looks very cool, and it's well attached. It does look quite natural coming out. It looks very neat. The hair sculpt is quite neat as well. But overall, the figure is nice. I believe that the majority of it's a new sculpt. Other than the legs seem to be just reused, except with new knee pads. But the rest of the figure, including the jacket, is a new sculpt, which I do think looks quite good. Then we have Weapon X. This is a very odd version of Weapon X. Obviously, Weapon X is Wolverine when he goes through the operation to get the antimanium into his skeletal system, but this is a very odd version of him. I'm unaware of what this version is specifically from, but it looks like an interesting figure. At least the head sculpt's crazy with that hair, quite a mane going on, and then he has almost like he's missing his left hand, of course, and he's just got like almost like a pirate hook, but the X-Men version of a pirate hook, where it's just the hook kind of piece, or the forearm piece that instead of having a hook has the 3 claws, which I think is kind of fun. The figure itself does seem to reuse a lot of pieces. I'd say the majority of it are just a repaint, except for the head sculpt and then the left forearm. Those are the only things that I think are actually new on the figure itself. And then we have Morph. Morph is a little bit more of an interesting character. Actually started off as a villain, and he's kind of gone more into the hero side of things. But he looks like an okay figure. Again, mainly I'd say it's just a repaint, except with a new cape and new head sculpt. The head sculpt's plain, but it has a nice look to it. I do like the shadowing around the eyes. It really makes the eyes pop. And then the rest of the figure is pretty plain, to be honest. The coloring is very easy to do as well. It's just blue with some black stripes on it, essentially, and then the boots and gloves are just a very bright yellow. Wish that there was a little bit more going on within the yellow to showcase some of the highlighting. But yeah, overall pretty standard figure. In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of these 3 characters, nor do I know much about them. I much prefer more classic X-Men characters. None of these are classic X-Men characters, but some of them have interesting looks. Overall, not a great start to the wave for me personally. We'll have to see what other kind of figures are in this wave and what the Build-A-Figure is, but assuming that the Build-A-Figure isn't a must-have, these are an easy skip for me, nothing that I personally need myself. But yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts on these new 3 X-Men figures shown from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Let me know what you guys think of them, and thanks so much for watching.